Hey, so I thought I'd do a quick review of the new Tales from the Hood Part 3. Now, I did watch Part 2, and I just didn't think it was as good as Part 1. Part 3 starts with a wraparound story starring Tony Todd escorting a little girl somewhere, and to pass the time, she decides to tell him a couple stories. Now, one of the stories stars Lynn Whitfield as an aging opera star, and she gets taken care of by a, a young woman who has dreams of being a singer. And I thought this was a pretty good story. Um, it does rip off a certain movie, and I won't say which one because I don't want to spoil it. But despite that, I thought Lynn Whitfield gave a really good performance. Another story is about a racist extremist who lives in the dregs. He lives in his trailer all alone for the past so many years. He has a bunch of racist signs put up, no trespassing. He lives all alone in his trailer. He gives off these occasional live streams online and whatnot. And I gotta say the ending kind of threw me for a loop, but when I thought about it again, it was also a ripoff of a TV series episode. And again, I'm not gonna spoil it. And finally, the last story I thought was pretty good. It's about a guy who sucker punches people on the street and then steals their belongings. And overall, I thought it was a pretty good story out of the anthology. And finally, we have the wraparound story starring the great Tony Todd, which was pretty decent. I thought it was a little heavy handed on the CGI, as was the Sucker Punch Bandit story. It had a ton of CGI. It was kind of over the top, but I could see where they were coming from. So let's see. Overall, the Lynn Whitfield story was good, even though it was a ripoff. I thought Lynn Whitfield was the best part of the story. Tony Todd, he isn't really given a lot to do since he's part of the wraparound story. He's basically just escorting a little girl to a bunker who is telling him a variety of stories to pass the time. He did good with this part. He's not given a lot to do. The little girl did a pretty good job with her part. I was disappointed with the story about the racist having a standoff with police. I don't know, it really could have been a lot better. The story just comes out of nowhere. And again, it's a ripoff of a classic TV series episode. So, I think it was better than part 2 of Tales from the Hood. I was disappointed with 2 of the segments out of the 4. So, would I recommend watching it? Go ahead. Go for it. If you like anthology horror movies, maybe you'll like it more than me. Like I said, some of the segments were ripoffs. And Another complaint is that a lot of the CGI was over the top, especially in the last two segments actually. So, in typical fashion, it's definitely a mixed bag for an anthology movie. I definitely think it's an improvement above Tales from the Hood Part 2. So, Tales from the Hood Part 3 is streaming now for free on the Sci Fi Channel on demand. I have Spectrum, so I'm not sure how it goes for other people with different cable uh, sets and whatnot. So give it a chance. And I think this is going to be my last horror review for a while, unless I pick up something new. But I'm probably going to move on to a number of movies that are non horror related. So I'm kind of looking forward to it. We'll see when I get into them, after Halloween. And that's it for now. Planning to hand out a little candy tomorrow. I don't think we're going to get a ton of trick or treaters. Obviously, we'll be wearing masks and be taking precautions. So that's it for now. And I hope you guys have a safe and happy Halloween. Bye.